You may notice more police ride checks on the road this time of year. Well, today, Quebec introduces the country's toughest rules aimed at stopping impaired people from getting behind the wheel. Let's bring in Michael to explain what's in this new legislation.
New legislation, and essentially it would subject anyone who's been convicted twice of drunk driving within a 10-year period to always have to blow into a breathalyzer before they get into a car. Now, how are they going to enforce this? Well, essentially, if you are convicted twice within a 10-year period of impaired driving in the province of Quebec, for the rest of your life, you will be required to have in your vehicle something called an interlock device. Now, this is a device that you blow into before you can turn your car on. It would prevent a car from starting if a driver's estimated blood alcohol level was above the legal limit. And any convicted person would not be allowed to use that vehicle if it did not have an interlock device. But if they did use a vehicle without an interlock device and were caught, well, take a look at the penalties that they face. First and foremost, a first-time offense. Well, that would lead to a 3-month license suspension, a $1,500 fine. The vehicle would be impounded for at least 30 days. A second offense would lead to a license suspension of at least 2 years, an immediate seizure of the vehicle, an impoundment of 90 days, possible prison time, and a third offense would a driver would face a lifetime restriction. Now, this law, as you say, Heather, not only the toughest in this country, but also the toughest in the world as they try to take on drunk driving in the province of Quebec, putting in these interlock devices, these personalized breathalyzers, if you will. And already we're hearing from Mad Canada saying that this is a great thing that they're doing, and they hope that other jurisdictions follow suit.
I mean, those are 6 amazing words. For the rest of your life.
Exactly.
This is what you're going to have to deal with.
Absolutely.
So what about, this is a hypothetical. Somebody I know has a conviction of which I'm unaware. He or she asked to borrow my car. I say, go right ahead. And then they take my car, which doesn't have one of those breathalyzer devices. What happens then?
Yeah, well, this underlines just how tough the law is. If you were to lend a car to somebody and you didn't know they had this restriction, well, your car could still be impounded if that driver is caught. And that's because essentially driver's licenses, not only do the vehicles have to have these breathalyzers, but the driver's licenses will be marked. So it is advised that you check a driver's license of anyone to whom you are lending a car to, because if it's marked and they have that car, they're still going to impound that car. And for Quebec, they essentially say this is about preventing the deaths related to alcohol-related driving, about 100 deaths each and every year, some 220 injuries, some 1,800 minor injuries, all associated with drinking and driving. So this is what it's aiming to crack down on. But yes, if you lend your car to someone, it does not mean to say your car will not be impounded. And if you want to be really safe in the province of Quebec, you can go into a provincial liquor store, pay them $1.75, and they will tell you whether or not anyone in your life actually has.
They'll check on that.
Yeah, they check on it just to make sure you're not lending your car to someone who shouldn't have it.
Foreseeing some people may challenge us. I don't know, but it's certainly very stringent. But vehicle owner with some liability in all of this.
Absolutely.
All right, Michael, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Michael Serapia with that story.